Welcome to the summer series of the Empowered by Design podcast. We are doing best of this season. We are bringing back some of our most popular, your favorite episodes from the history of the Empowered by Design podcast. We are so excited to be here with you. We will be back with brand new episodes for season 6 with me, your host, Dr. Liz, and lots of fun guests. You know how I love collaborating and bringing you the most amazing people ever. That will continue next season, beginning August 8th. That's right, 808, my friends. We will be returning with brand new episodes of the Empowered by Design podcast. While we are taking some R&R from creating new podcast episodes this summer, you can stay connected with us on social media and on our email list. That is the best way because we also take a little summer break from social media, and you can follow us on social to find out when those dates will be. But the best way to always know what is new, what is coming, what we're up to, what's going on behind the scenes at Visionistas by Design is to get on our email list. You can do that right at our website, visionistasbydesign.com, and at drliz.com. For now, enjoy this episode of the best of Empowered by Design Summer Series. I am so excited to bring you this episode. This is part 1 of episode 56. Making Marriage Fun, Meet My Valentine, Chad. Here you get to meet my partner in crime for this life of a lifetime. And this is Chad. I talk about him here on the podcast, and I have begged Chad to come back on the podcast for the Love Stories segment. Chad said no. I came on that podcast once, that's it, we're done. Chad's first answer to most things is no. He has said no to lots of things in our life, and I can be persistent. I can be convincing, and there's a couple of things that there have been a hard no on, and this is one of them. I know when to stop, or I'm learning when to stop asking and pleading for something that I really want, especially when someone is adamant that they don't want to do it. Don't push. Don't force it. Can't force it. And so I am excited to bring back this fun conversation with Chad, and I will be bringing it to you in 2 parts. So this is part 1, where you will meet Chad. And if you listen closely, you definitely can hear our love story. Enjoy. We are going to be talking about how to keep marriage fun. We're going to give some tips, some stories, and maybe some surprises. So stay tuned. Welcome to the podcast, Empowered by Design. I am your host, Dr. Liz, a hopeful romantic, mom of 2 beautiful souls, and partner to the love of my life. As a licensed psychologist, I love helping people heal, grow, and shine. I am a love and relationship specialist and owner of Visionistas by Design Wellness Boutique, where we lead with love and empower you to fly. This podcast delivers inspirational stories, conversations, and lessons on the power of tuning in body, mind, heart, soul, and spirit. Following your intuition, seeing the signs, and listening to the whispers from angels. To pursue your dreams in life, work, and love with intentional vision. Share the love, spread the power. Dream, design, deliver. Welcome to episode 56. I am so excited for this podcast episode. Just a little intro before I introduce my guest, my special guest. I made this request probably 10 months ago to have Chad, who is my husband, my partner, my Valentine, to join me on this podcast, and he put it off for quite a while. And we are here celebrating with you appropriately the month of love, Valentine's Day, and we're going to talk about how to keep marriage fun, because let's be honest, sometimes it's pretty serious, sometimes it can be rocky, which we've experienced in our marriage, and so that's it. We're going to have some fun today. You're going to hear just this side of me that you've never heard before, live and in person. Welcome, Chad.
Thank you.
So I'm going to just get us started with a little icebreaker. We're going to also play a little game at the end, so make sure you stay tuned all the way to the end. You know that usually when I have a guest on the podcast, we do this or that. This time, Hannah whipped up a few questions for us to play the newlywed game, kind of like the newlywed game, but we're not newlyweds. But one of my favorite memories of us is we're very competitive, and we did win the newlywed game at one of our vacations before we were even married. Remember that?
Yep. We were always better at the game before we were married.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
Not so good after.
Right. Not only the newlywed game, because we've gotten a little bit worse at that. But cornhole, we used to really like clean house in cornhole tournaments, and you're laughing. You're smiling.
Yeah.
Say it. Say what's in your head.
Nope.
Say it. I got worse.
No, you didn't get better.
I don't know what it is. We used to just, yeah. Well, so we love to compete. So we love to have fun, which is the point of this podcast. Certainly marriage is, just a mountain of adventure, right?
Yeah.
And we don't have all the answers, but we try hard to stay connected and on the same page to find the answers that work for us, right? So throughout this podcast, we're going to be just sharing a little bit about us, and we're going to share these tips with you on how you can keep your marriage fun, and including the ups and the downs. So I want to just, start off by... So when I finally got Chad to say that he would come and do this podcast, he rolled his eyes, sighed, and said, I don't even think he said okay. I don't know. But he did ask me for an outline of questions, which I provided to him, which is a little bit different than usual on the podcast. We are going to cover some of the basics that I usually do with guests of how we met, how we connected, which is where I'm going to start. Can you start? You have to, people can't see you, so you must speak.
No, you go ahead and start.
He was shaking his head. So this is a fun story, and it's one of the things that I love to do. I love to ask people, our friends, our family. Well, our family, I know how people met, but it is fun when we get together with other couples. It's one of the questions that comes up from me a lot.
Definitely your go-to.
It is my go-to, but it's so fun. Honestly, I love learning about the love story of people, like how you've connected, how you met, how you got here. And it's also it's something I do when I work with couples as well, is like taking the time to not just kind of see what's going on for us right now, because when I see couples, it's because something isn't going well. When I see couples in my work as a psychologist. But when I see couples in real life, in like personal life, it's also fun to go back and explore how people met. Our how we met is a fun story.
Yeah.
It is. So when Chad and I was in high school, you were in college.
Yeah.
My best friend Allison was dating your best friend Lee. And they were a fun couple, and they thought, wow, we should get these two together. Chad and Liz would be really great together. So we did. We went on a double date, and we went to the movies. You drove the Scamp.
Scamp.
Tell us about the Scamp.
It's a beaut. I'm pretty sure it was a 1976 vehicle. And it had just an AM radio. And just to show how old it was, the high beams were on the floor.
Ooh.
So you had to press the high beams on the floor.
That I did not know.
Yeah.
I never drove the Scamp. You were driving the Scamp. I really kind of believe I was sitting in the back.
You were.
Behind you. But what I remember is driving into the parking lot of the movie theater, and we were listening to oldies because it only had, like you said, the AM station, but at least we got oldies on the radio, and we were listening to oldies. I don't remember what movie we saw.
Yeah, I don't either.
And I don't remember what we did after the movies, if anything. But I remember we went to the movies. I remember we laughed a lot. Yeah. And this is in the days before we had cell phones. So I gave you my number.
Yes.
I'll let you go from here.
Well, she gave me her number, and I gave a call back to the number she gave me. And I don't know who I talked to, but it was a male in the house. And I just said who I was and to have Liz give me a call back. And supposedly, the story goes, Liz never got the message.
That's true. So Liz never called because Liz never got the message. So I have a dad and 3 brothers in the house and a mom at the time that we were all living at home. And I never got the message. So I don't know. And it's kind of a mystery. I don't think any of my brothers or my dad remember who might have picked up the phone.
Nobody took credit for it.
Nobody took credit. So that's it. That was it. That was the end of our meeting, the end of our dating. He never called back. He didn't pursue it again. So maybe I didn't make that much of an impact on you that first time. But so the story goes, 8 years later, 2 other friends of ours were dating. So Jen and Donnie were dating. And again, thought, oh, these 2 would make a great couple. Let's get Chad and Liz together. So Jen, my friend, called me, and I'll never forget it. It was February 21st, because I have that date. I'm good with dates. I was at home. It was a Saturday night. So this was my Saturday night. I was at home with my dad doing taxes. So I was back at home, living at home. And I hate taxes. I hate tax season. I don't like it at all, which probably we'll get to in a little bit later. And Jen called and said, hey, what are you doing? And I was like, taxes. And she's like, oh my gosh, you need to come out and come down to where we are and meet Chad Kreider. I think you 2 would really hit it off. And I was like, I know that name. And I was like, okay. So I didn't know how to get there. It was in the next town. I didn't know how to get there, but either she gave me your number or you called me at some way and gave me directions and talked me through getting there. And then what was so sweet was I was driving. You stood out on the road to like direct me into the parking lot, which was so great. And that was our first meeting.
Yes.
What do you remember?
After that, you getting out of the car and us going into the Jacks.
Yep, to the Jacks. So, yeah. That was an experience. And I can still picture what I was wearing. It's so weird. I can picture what I was wearing, how my hair was, walking with you into that place, which was, it's a local place. And so everybody knows everybody. So when a new person arrives, it felt like that moment when the record goes, and everything froze and everyone was staring at us. And I was like, where am I?
Yes, everything did stop.
Yeah.
When a stunning woman walks in,
Aw,
everybody stops to
look at you. I love you. So another fun memory that I have of that night was you played the jukebox and we danced. We love dancing.
Well, Eddie Kaluska played the jukebox.
Okay, Eddie played the juke. Right, because you didn't pick that song, but now we love this song.
But yes.
So we love the song Cracklin' Rosie because we danced to it on our first meeting. The one that stuck, I guess we could call it. And so funny as it is already in this story, two of these names are our children. So our son is named Jackson, even though we did not name him after the Jacks. I will say, on my heart that's pitter-pattering right now, I loved the name Jackson, and it just so happened we met at the Jacks and we call our son Jax. But as you're smirking, I'm saying we did not name him after the Jacks. I am gonna give credit to Cracklin' Rosie for our daughter's middle name.
Oh, definitely.
There was part of that in when we knew we were having a girl and we were trying to come up with a middle name. You suggested Rose. And you gave a few reasons, and to me that was like, oh my gosh, yes, this has meaning. This is our song. One of them. We have lots of songs, I think, but that's one of our big ones, right?
Yes.
Whew, I'm gonna pause because as I'm talking about this, I can feel like butterflies in my stomach. Like I said, my heart was going pitter patter. I feel like, just like I can feel all that in my stomach and my body. The memory. What about you? Not so much.
I do enjoy the memories.
Okay. All right. So that is how we met twice, and how it from there on we've never broken up.
No, not once.
Came close.
Yes.
But we didn't. We've made it work because in being honest about how to keep marriage fun, it is important to recognize that, yes, there are going to be ups and downs. There's going to be moments of pain and hurt. And that's why developing a good foundation of trust and safety is important. And that I feel like we've done. So having fun has to come from a place of safety. And I feel like you, for me, keep me really, you have, you keep me grounded because I'm like a free spirit, let's just say.
Yes. Yes, you are.
So I'm going to go to our list of questions that I gave you. And, we talked kind of like about a memory of looking back, but is there any other favorite dates or celebrations, any other memories that popped up for you as we were either talking now or when I gave you the list of questions?
I think my favorite dates were when we just did stuff with just us, the two of us, because we don't always get to do that with our kids and everything else we have going on in our busy lives. The past one was when we were on COVID lockdown, when everything was shut down, we couldn't go anywhere, and things were just about to start to open up, and we were allowed to go places, and I made you think that we were going out somewhere. I think it was that was for our anniversary, I think.
Yes, it was.
And I had just set everything up in the house, got flowers, got the dinner we were going to have, and got everything set up, and then told you, all right, get yourself ready.
Go get dressed.
We're going to go out to eat. And you did. And then when you came down, you're like, all right, where are we going? And I just took you to the
backyard.
To the backyard.
I love it.
I said, we're just eating here. And I had everything set up, so.
Yes, and I have tears because I love when you talk about your memories. That was so special. It was our 14th anniversary because our daughter made dessert for us.
Yes.
And the kids weren't there. Where were they? I don't know.
You probably snuck them over to your parents.
We were very blessed that we have lots of people in our lives and grandparents and who just love our kids and love taking them. We did because we were going out. So we made plans for them to not be home. And I remember coming down the stairs thinking like, oh, I was wearing this outfit that I was like, oh, do you think this is okay to wear out? And you're like, yeah, sure. And then of course it was just because we were going in the backyard, but on our deck, and you had grilled and you made lobster tail and you made, I don't know, there were some courses. It was a several course meal. Wonderful, beautiful, lovely. And I love that you said that the dates with us together are really special, which is a tip that I would say explicitly is important to make time for your relationship, make time for yourselves. It can be so easy to get busy, especially if you have children, but even if you don't have children, to get caught up in the busyness of life and work. And we have made it work. We stagger our work schedules so that we have done that since I graduated.
Since the kids were in school.
Yeah. So that, I guess sometimes that's something that I feel like I'm excited for maybe more time. I love our family. I love our family time. And sometimes I feel like we are ships passing in the night, especially during the week, because you work late Tuesday, Thursday. I work late Monday, Wednesday in order to be home for our kids. And it does cut out of our own time together. Don't you want your love to be fun? I do, raising my hand. And sometimes it's tricky. Sometimes it's muddy. Sometimes it's overwhelming. How we maintain the love, the fun love, the balance, the passion, and the empowerment. We must, as individuals, maintain a sense of space and independence and then contribute together. The important piece is respecting the differences, but also using the things that we share as the foundation for a healthy relationship. We call it the Fun Love Formula. You can download the handout for free right on my website. Head over to the website, drliz.com/funlove. Strengthen the trust in your relationship. Navigate ups and downs in your life, in your love, together as a team. Teamwork. And now, back to the show. I remember when Sophia was 1.5 years, and I was still in grad school, and we decided we needed time for each other, and we took a trip away, and it was hard. It's heart-wrenching to leave your kids for a night, but we left them for 4 or 5 days, and took a trip together, and it really, really, it's important. It's important whether it's a trip to a beautiful place or it's your backyard, right? So you don't need to spend a lot of money. You don't need to get on a plane. You can put a blanket out in your backyard or grill up some burgers and kebabs or whatever and make special time for each other, which is one big thing, one big takeaway that I love about us. What are you thinking?
I'm in agreement.
I know, but what else? No? Okay. No. Next question, were you thinking? Go to the next question? Okay. If you think about things you love about us right now, so we're looking back and reflecting on what are some things that have gone well for us? How have we gotten through some of those hurdles of busyness and arranging schedules? What do you love about our life right now in this present moment? And I'm taking a breath. You can say it. You don't know?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to pinpoint things. I enjoy being with the kids. I enjoy all their busy schedules. I'm a person that needs to always be doing something. I get bored easily sitting at home.
That's an understatement. Yes, you are.
So when things get canceled with the kids, sometimes that ruins my day.
Yeah.
Because I just plan on whatever they have going and that being a part of my life and a part of our life. Mm-hmm. So.
Yes.
It's weird how things have changed from when we first, we were dating. It was just us. Now it's our kids and then us, kind of, to an extent.
Yeah, I love that. I love that because so many thoughts came up. But one of them, when you said things getting canceled, we absolutely love. We both come from very busy families especially around sports. Both of us come from families who were constantly doing something, and we do that too with our kids. They're typically in an activity, and we love that. That's our life, right? Like our family time. And so when COVID happened and everything was shut down, it was a screeching halt for us.
Yeah.
And one of the memories I have was driving. We were driving in the car, which kind of we really hadn't done probably for a couple of weeks altogether because we weren't going anywhere. But we were driving probably, I think, to sit outside at your dad's house or something. And I remember you saying, in a moment that also made me tearful in an emotional, sentimental way, was you said, I've really treasured these weeks of us just being together. The four of us, right? Because we do, like I said, we have huge families. So we will do things with family and we'll go on vacations with family. And something that you've been really intentional about too in our life is making sure that we also do things with the four of us, right? Like we took a trip. We take at least once-ish a year.
Yeah.
We try to do one thing, one kind of trip or something where it's just the four of us.
Yep. That started early on when we were first married with the kids because I was working so much. I just didn't have time to be with them.
So it's important to make the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So important. So important. So not only for your marriage, but your family, to connect with family extended and to nurture the core family as well, which I think is something we do well. I think when they were little and I was in grad school, and I that mom guilt is really, really tough, and I still feel it, like my heart breaks. when I have to be away from them, or I'm away from them for school or work or whatever. And just feeling so blessed that we had family to be with them, and remembering people would tell me, think of it as how lucky they are to nurture their relationships with their grandparents and their aunts and uncles and all the people who love them. So we're both very family based, right?
Yeah. We're lucky enough to have everybody in the same vicinity.
Yeah, and even great grandparents, we're very lucky to have them for our
within
kids.
a half an hour, almost everybody.
Yeah.
Which usually doesn't happen.
Right. That is where we will stop for part 1 of this best of episode. Come back next week to hear part 2, the rest of this episode. Take care. Thank you for connecting on this episode of the podcast, Empowered by Design. For further connection, subscribe to my email list at drliz.com to be sure that you are in the loop for exciting news, events, and resources. You can also follow me on social media at Dr. Liz and at Visionistas by Design. I invite you to subscribe to this podcast and send this episode to one of your people in order to share the love, spread the power. This podcast is designed to inspire, educate, and empower you to pursue your dreams with intentional vision. This podcast is not meant to be a substitute for psychological treatment or a working relationship with a licensed mental health professional. For more information on connecting with mental health resources in your area, visit drliz.com and click on resources. Thank you again for connecting, and remember, trust the heart, work your vision, dream, design, deliver.